on YouTube later. So today we have my friend Jason Cassity joining us from San Diego, California. You may
Hello.
recognize Jason from such TikTok videos as peeling bananas upside down and food restaurant critics on his Instagram that kind of went viral a couple months back, a little bit.
That's right. I
Yeah.
shot two more too. I'm just doing all the tweaks now. So I'm doing three best bars in San Diego, three favorite taco shops in San Diego. I'm just gonna beat that one until it's dead.
Perfect. You got to pick like
One
crappy restaurants so that way people will
exactly.
argue
What
in the comments.
one quick question. Are you doing that on YouTube as well, or just like social, like just Instagram, Facebook kind of stuff?
Just Instagram, Facebook. I have shot, so in this most recent batch I did last week, I shot two YouTube specific, so like horizontal, a little bit longer form. But the majority of the batch content I've been doing for the last like 4 years has been vertically, like vertical for Instagram first, and then now you can use that on YouTube Shorts too. But it's like made with Instagram in mind. Not saying that's the right way to do it. I think going back, I could probably make the case that I should have been doing YouTube the whole time. But that video she's talking about and the ones I just shot again last week were for Instagram.
Yeah, they're gold for all forms of content. I've seen a few of the videos, but I just feel like it'd be great for YouTube if you wanted an idea for YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. I could repurpose all of it into horizontal, maybe a little bit longer form, and still probably have great content there too, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
So Jason is going to be sharing with us a tactic that he's been using to stay in touch with his clients. So Jason, I don't know, I'll just let you give her
For,
the
for
mic.
sure. I'll run through it. If you've seen this before, sorry, you're going to see it again, but I'll literally show you just exactly how I do it. Kristen really, really liked this tactic so much so that she wanted me back here to share it again. So I'm actually going to share my screen and show you what I do every week for this tactic. And so the premise of this initially came from a Jimmy Mackin kind of curator live stream that he did where he taught the Google Sheet or the Google Map method. And he's like, you should take all of your clients, all of your past clients, people who you have addresses for. So like not your leads, but people who have either bought and sold with you and still currently live in your area that you can plot on a map. And then you should export them and import them onto a Google map so you can see it visually. And it just helps people realize both like how many deals you've done so you can turn it into social proof. But for me, my brain was working. It's like, well, maybe I can take all the sales from the MLS for that given week and then overlay that and then use it as a reason to like reach out to the clients. Like, hey, did you see the sale at 123 Banana Street? And it's just a visual reminder to me to like stay in touch with people. Obviously, like every one of these mastermind calls for the last 3 years has been all these tips on how to get new clients on social media and like all the different things to do. But I'm just like, what about the people who are already in our database and the people who already know, like, and trust us? We should probably be spending a little bit extra time on them. But like, I can't send them a CMA every week, right? So like, what do I do? How do I stay in touch with them? And that's where this idea kind of came in. So if you've seen this before, bear with me. But I'm going to share my screen here and show you exactly how I do that, and then I'll share a couple extra tips that I like to do. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Good. Cool. So for example, I need to update this too. So I have about 125 people in my CRM. By the way, I use Lofty for my CRM, which is Chime, but they just rebranded. So, we have probably just collectively across my team, we have about, just refreshing here so you guys can see this. My computer always goes a little bit slower when I'm live streaming too. I think we have about 6,000 leads collectively. I'm talking about the core people, the people where you have their actual addresses, right? So yeah, we have 6,200 leads. So just go pull your sellers. Am I lagged? No? Can you hear
No.
me okay? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So just go pull your sellers. So in this case, you just export as a CSV. I don't know how your CRM does that. Usually you just can export your leads somehow. Again, you need to make sure you have their name, address, email, phone number, like filled out, but you want to, address is the most important one on this. So export your leads into a CSV file, open up a Google map, and you can just do that from your dashboard. If you just go to like your Gmail or your Drive, you can just go in and hit Google Maps and hit start new map, and it'll take you into here. You just add a layer and you can upload your clients onto it. And so this is what mine kind of looks like here. I'll zoom in just a tad so you can see, but you've got kind of your base, I was downtown for 10 years, and then this is the Metro San Diego area all the way up to, Carlsbad area. So here's the tactic. So one, this is one step, and this is kind of what Jimmy was talking about on the call that prompted this entire idea, is you can kind of turn this into like social proof for like a Facebook ad or something like that, where if you have a ton, you use your whole team, use your whole brokerage, use whatever to make it look better. And then you could say like, we know San Diego or whatever, you know, the average agent sells 7 homes, we sold 50 or 70, whatever your numbers are. So there's a lot of ways to play with this for social proof. So what I like to do here is I'll actually go into my MLS each week. And so I was just doing it ahead of time just to make sure. But for example, I'll start a new search completely for you. Everybody's MLS obviously looks different. So I don't want, you know, obviously you guys may have to figure out how to do this, but I just go to start a new residential search. And then I just literally do the whole county. And then I just take it back 7 days. So then I'll just, you know, change it for all sold properties that closed in the last 7 days. So there was 183, and then I hit search and it'll pull up all 183. Am I still okay?
Yep.
Okay. I think my video's lagged like a quick half second, so it looks funny when I'm watching it. Okay. So then you just take this, you export it to a CSV, and then it'll, you know, give you the, all listings. It'll give you the little file down on the bottom. Take that, go back to your map, add a new layer, and then import that CSV, right? That you just exported. And so it'll say, hey, choose the columns to position your place mark. So I always just go a full address because I want the full address is obviously how you're going to find these. And then I want it to show the full address as the title as well. And so give it a quick sec. Now, because I didn't do full address, if you want to really narrow it down, see how some are like off here in Australia and stuff like that. My MLS with the full address. So if there's a 123 Banana Street in San Diego, there may be a 123 Banana Street in Australia or wherever that also sold. So if you really want to dial this down, you should go in and like export it and then like clean them up to make sure that the full address is also the city, state, and zip. I don't always do that. So like sometimes if there's not enough listings, maybe I'll do that. But like for the most part, out of those 183, probably 175 of them are proper. It's just, there's going to be a few that look. So you just have to resume. And then I always change the color of this from blue to green. The reason being, as you can see, because I use blue for the houses. So now when I go back to my map, you can see all my clients are blue dots and all the sales are green dots. And so basically now visually, I can start, and what I look for are sales that happened close to a client, right? So like, it's like, all right, cool. So here's a good example of one where I have this client, I know this is Pat Straight. He lives in San Elijo Hills. He just bought his house mid last year, maybe 2 years ago. There's a sale that happened right next to him. So I'm going to text Pat and I'm going to say, hey, Pat, did you see what 1604 Avery Road closed for? And then just leave it and let it sit there. And then if he responds back quickly, yes, no, maybe, then you've started a conversation, right? And if he doesn't respond back within 10 minutes, so that it's not awkward, you can follow up with, oh, sorry, I got busy for a second. It was 784. What did you think? Right. And so like you can give them the answer if they don't respond back within 10 minutes, but usually they're going to respond back like, yes, no, maybe, didn't tell me about it, whatever. Right. You're just striking up conversation is all. And so usually, you know, there's 185 this week, you know, somewhere around 200 every week. And usually I get about 5 to 7 hits, what I call a hit, where I'm going to reach out to a past client and I'm going to say, hey, did you see? Hey, Kristen, did you see? Right. So I just kind of go through. Here's another close one. So this is my client, Nick and Penny Lechuga. They bought their house back in COVID, like 2020. There's a house for 1.7 that sold right across the freeway from them. So I'm like, Nick and Penny, what's up? Did you see what 7444 Arroyo Grande sold for? Right. And now you need to make sure it's a match. Like I know Nick and Penny's house, this is a match to that. I also know what they bought it for. So this feels about right. If it's like a condo that sold across the street and they're like a single family home, then maybe don't text them. It's not really a match. Right. By the way, pro tip here, make sure you're texting both the husband and the wife. I feel like every husband and wife you have, if they're on a home, like if they live in the home together, you should have a text thread together with the 3 of you that says like, Nick and Penny's home adventure, Nick and Penny's home, whatever. You should have probably started that back when you were searching for homes together. I like to call it like Nick and Penny's home search. And then you put like the little house emoji. You want both the husband and the wife on that text thread, or
Jason,
both partners, whatever. Right. So yes.
I call them all the 3 Musketeers every time, and I think it's unique to them. They love it.
Bingo. There you go. That would be confusing on my thread when I'm looking for that thread. unless you call it like Nick and Penny Three Musketeers on your side or something. Because like, how do you find that if you have 73 Musketeers titles?
You have
Good
to
thing,
do like
Jason. This is why you're smarter than us.
So like you have to title it something along. I use it like Lechuga's Home Search, which is their last name or something like that, right? Three Musketeers is fine too. It's just maybe like Lechuga Three Musketeers. I don't know. I would be confused a little bit if I did that. Here's another match. You have Ben and Tong Young. They bought here, and then they have a match with this one. I might be like, hey, did you see this? Right. So I've basically got 3 matches so far. And this is before I even get into Metro, which is where most of my homes are. Like you're gonna see like there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably have like 7 to 10 matches at least, not including downtown, which is these are easy to find matches. And so when we think about like, okay, we wake up today and we have to make 15 contacts. Well, who are we reaching out to? We should probably start with the people who we already know, like, and trust. And now I have 5 to 10 contacts right out of the gate that I can reach out to, and I have a good reason to reach out to them. Right. And it's not just basically sending them a CMA every month or every quarter. It's something extremely relevant that just happened in the last week. And it's a very conversational way to reach out to them. And so this is called the Google Map strategy. It was born from a live stream that I saw Jimmy talk about with the social proof, but then I leveled it up a little bit by adding the MLS sales for the week. And so I start every Monday by doing this. I'll just pull the last 7 days. And then and I may not actually reach out to everybody on Monday morning and maybe Monday and Tuesday, but now you've got this map that you can always come back to and check out.
I think this is so genius. I started doing this back in October when you first said it in that real presentation on the Monday.
Yep.
And I try to hit like at least 3 people every Monday morning with it. And every single person is like, holy shit, prices are down or prices are up or whatever. And it's just getting conversations going with people who weren't actually thinking about moving, but are now asking me to take them to see a couple listings that just popped up in their neighborhoods.
That's it. Yep. And like, I know this neighbor, this is Rudy Maldonado. And then this sale is literally for 1.7, happened this is like his complex. This is a single family home, like neighborhood. Whereas I know this one doesn't apply. This is a different neighborhood, but like, because I know this map pretty well, like I'm going to reach out to him. This is a comp. These don't come up very often. So, and I know he's been thinking about selling once it gets over 1.5, and now he has a 1.7 comp. And so it's like, this is a perfect reason to, now this is like theoretically, like all these people are in my CRM. So if I just go every day and look at my CRM, but if I don't know about this sale, like I can't look at the entire like the entire MLS every single day. So I may have missed this sale happen if it wasn't for this map, right? So it just gives you a visual to stay in touch with these people. Funny enough, if you really wanted to get like the opposite tactic, where if you wanted to, so like this person didn't have a sale, Mike Lenny didn't have a sale next to him, but I wanted to reach out to Mike because maybe he hasn't had a sale for a while. Then the other route you could take is you could just go to Zillow and look up his address and then hit him with the Zillow one. It's like, hey, I was on Zillow looking for homes for a client nearby. I saw your estimate was 1.1 million. What do you think? Right. And then it's just, and screenshot their house on Zillow when you text it to them. And then basically they're going to come back and be like, oh yeah, I saw that. Like I was thinking it was more like 1.2. And now you've started a conversation. That's it. So you're going to have these times where there's maybe no match. And so you can, if you want to reach out to these people, just do the Zillow text too. And the reason I say Zillow is because like, they're probably also looking at Zillow, like to get their valuation. So it gives you a reason to like, it gives you like a familiarity to like reach out to them for. So if you get a close match, that's awesome. If you don't, but you want to reach out to these people because it's been a while, do the Zillow text as well. Andrew.
Hey, Jason.
Hey.
Curious, just like plain devil's advocate, in say like someone purchased mid 2022, right before things started to, like really come down, and a lot of their data is unfavorable right now. Are you still hitting them up with data in that scenario?
If they just purchased in 2022, probably not. But like the thing is like, why not? You're the purveyor of the data. Like they're still seeing that too. You know what I mean? And if you're able to speak to it, like all you want to do is stay. I feel, and I'm very much like guilty of this too, is like people only buy and sell houses on average, like every 6 to 7 years. And so what we as agents do is we get the sale and then we think that we put them on some sort of auto drip and we don't talk to them for 5 years. And it's like, really, we should just be facilitating these conversations and bringing them the information no matter what. You know what I mean? If they just bought in 22, unless they're planning on moving soon, it almost doesn't matter if the prices go down just a tad, they'll come back. So, just purveying if it was close, but a different neighborhood, maybe not, but like that guy who bought and it's in the same neighborhood, I'd probably reach out to him and be like, hey, did you see that sale? Seems like they took a little bit low, or do you know why they sold so low? Right. Some sort of conversation like that, where it's like you're acknowledging that it maybe was a low sale, but saying like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, how come they did it low? Like yours is way nicer, right? You could soften the blow a little bit. So that's the tactic I try to use every Monday, right? And so like again, you may not have, this is only 98. You may not have 150 plots on here yet, and so like you may just plot out your 30, but those are the 30 people you should be talking to almost on a weekly or every other week basis, because you want to be like friends with them almost. You know what I mean? It's like instead of just trying to reach out to them every once in a while. Now, secondarily, all of these plots should also be on some sort of automated home value software as well that does some sort of like a monthly update. For example, I use Real Scout. So this is a third-party software that you can upload your CRM into. Most CRMs do it too. I think Lofty, which is Chime, which is actually, I think you can do home value leads through here too. I just use Real Scout because we use this as our property alert software. So when you have if Andrew wanted a 3-bed, 2-bath in Claremont for up to $1 million, I would set him up for a search on here instead of our MLS. It's just a little bit nicer and easier like user interface. Well, they have a home value alert as well. And so you can set up all your clients, you put their address in, and then they get like a monthly automated valuation. And so I do have all my clients set up on a monthly automated valuation, as well as I mean, you titled this touching your past clients, but as well as like the touches I try to do on a weekly or monthly basis. So for example, like here's a home value alert for Jill. This is her home here. And so these are kind of a little bit different, like, because this Real Scout system here uses, when they get the email, they actually see their Zillow's estimate plus their Redfin's estimate, or like it's called Atom, but it's like, I think it's the same software. And then they can ask for a valuation from me as well too. And it shows like the comps and stuff like that. So it is almost like a mini CMA that they get every month, but it shows them the Zillow's estimate plus this other's estimate. And usually, so I have, 125 that go out on this. I usually get about 50 to 60 opens every single month, and then 2 to 3 people that request a custom valuation from me. So like, for example, I was just going to show like my last month send because it just went out last week. And then you can see the dashboard of all the people as they look through. I see Blair has his hand up too.
Yeah, can you walk us through the function to import within Google Maps? Because I went to my Google Maps and I'm not seeing what you have.
Yep. So on the Google Map itself, when you create a new Google Map, do you see this add layer?
No.
You could screen share back to me maybe. So, or if you want to screen share and show. So like when I started a new Google Map, it basically just pops up and then you just hit add layer. So if you don't have this here, I don't know if did you go to, let me just see if I have my drive here. So if you go to your drive here and then you go to maps, which is here. And then you just go, you may have to actually go to like Google. This is probably what you see, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So then if you were to go here and say, start a new map, right? Let's see what pops up here when you do this. Okay. So what I would probably do is Google, funny enough, Google my maps like this, and then it goes my maps / Google. So start from there.
Thank you.
Yep. Because it's like, I don't know why, but you were on the more generic Google Maps, and then you can just create a new map from here. This is where you want to be.
Okay, Google My Maps.
Yeah. So you can't just go through Google Maps on the side. You have to create a new map. And then once you have that, you have the ability to add layers, which is where you add your CSVs onto, and then just call it, my clients or my map or whatever. There you go. Bingo. Boom. How was that,
Jared,
Kristen?
no, this isn't real software. This is just the CRM that Jason's using, but it's also.
None of this is real proprietary. I know that I showed you Real Scout, so that's a little confusing, but that's not real. This is a third-party software. Anybody can use this. I have a pro account, which is for teams. And so it's a couple $100 a month. I think you can get it as little as like $29 a month for just an individual user. And again, this is why, so I have listing alerts for all my clients. So these are all the clients who are looking to purchase right now. So you may see, if you wanted like a 3-bed, 2-bath under $1 million, this is where you set up just basically like an MLS search, just very similarly. But then it's, in my opinion, it looks a little bit cleaner when they come out. Plus, there's an app where you can communicate back and forth, and I just like the look a little bit better. So you can use Real Scout for that. You could probably just use your MLS for that, or your CRM probably has some sort of like home value tool as well.
Yeah, I think for anybody that's here in Canada and using Matrix, I've been doing it on Matrix, and it's super easy to export all the listings in a CSV file.
See, and so I like it. It's very much like a CRM, but you have 22 active clients. These are people who've looked at a house sometimes within the last week, and you can kind of just see, when they look at it multiple times or something like that, it just gives you a reason to reach out to that person too, right? Some conversations go down the left, but then I was just showing that whole thing because of the home value alert. So I think twofold: you should have every client on a home value alert that gets updated monthly, and then you should be doing the Google Sphere thing. So when there's something that sells on the same street or close by.
I wonder if we have Real Scout in Canada.
I don't know. Good question. Cool.
Awesome. Did anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, Real Scout, is there a fee for using that, or is it free?
Yeah, it's so I have a team account set up. I think it's like $200 a month for my entire team, and then there's individual plans, which is I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. So that's why I prefer it over my CRM and my MLS. But if you have your MLS and your CRM already has it inlaid, you might be able to do it just with that. This is just like a third-party software, and I think it looks a little bit better. That's all.
Have you ever tried HomeBot, just for comparison's sake?
It's going to be very similar to HomeBot on the, yes, I have used HomeBot for the home value alerts. It's going to be very similar. HomeBot's interesting too. I could do that here too, but you can have your lender on it and it'll show them like refi options too. So that's kind of cool as well. I think HomeBot's $50 a month, right? And then you can
I think it's like 25 up to a certain number of customers. It's not that many. It's like 50 or so.
Yeah, I think when I had it was 50, and I was able to co-spend with a lender, which is nice, but very similar, right? So, and to be honest, there's probably 30 of these. There's probably Cloud CMA, RPR. I don't know. There's all kinds of home valuation things. The reason I like this, not just I use it for my listing alerts, but the reason I like this because it also shows the Zillow's estimate. Again, not that that's a huge deal, but I think from the consumer's mindset, they're like, oh, this guy's giving me all the options, not just his opinion or not just some third party. Boom.
Amazing.
You think that Real Scout is worth the $700 a year?
I don't know what your MLS is like, Dan. So our MLS sucks. Like I just don't like the interface of it. And there's no app. It's not usable. So like if you were moving to San Diego and I set you up on a search up to 1.1, looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath, and I put you on an MLS search, I'm not a fan of it. And so for an individual person, like I think it's only $25 a month for an individual.
It's 59 now. I don't know if they just
did they raise the price?
Yeah.
Or is that including the
Teams is $250 now, and a regular account, or like a regular agent's $59. So it's around $700 a year, which I don't mind spending this. I just feel like, honestly, I have so many of these services. So if it's something that you actually think that you're like, no, dude, this is really helpful, it's, like that's different. But obviously in the time of cutting services.
Totally. Here's the real deal why I use it. So I used that before when I was at my indie brokerage, I used Real Scout, and then we moved to Compass, and Compass has all this kind of built in. They have like the CRM tool in the back and all this stuff. And it was great. And then when we left Compass, two of my team members, my buyer's agents specifically, Amanda and Christine, were like, we're super happy, but we really miss collections, which was this Compass tool. And I'm like, cool. But I'm spending way too much money at Compass. So I'm going to save the money by being over here, but I will get Real Scout to bridge the gap, so to speak. Cause they're like, we don't want to use the MLS searches. And so it was one of those options where it was like, it was more expensive than our MLS. There are free options, but it was way cheaper than what Compass was providing, which was also nice too. So it was kind of I had to do it as a bridge the gap thing. Now I also love it. I think it's really super nice, easy to use. Could you do it for free somewhere else? Yep. Or cheaper.
You use this to send out to not only the sellers your past clients, but also new clients, you're saying?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'll do past clients, and then I set up my buyer searches on there too. And so I don't take any buyer leads. My team will take all those. But so like even more so, they use it for
I guess I mean like just as a whole business.
We use it for both sides of the business. And by having the team account, I can assign them leads that come in through either Zillow or Google pay-per-click, which we do with curators. So like I can just assign them leads, and then they get set up on searches right away. So it's
Gotcha.
it's
And
it's
now
super.
does this work? Sorry, I'm asking so many questions at once with this. This is very interesting. Does this work with Lawfully? Like, does it auto import?
No, but you can set up a Zapier to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't care that much.
I don't
to be
have Lawfully. I
100%
have Sierra, so I just didn't know.
Got it. So it works with Follow Up Boss. It's API keyed with them, but not with Chime. And so I don't care as much. I did set up the Zapier so that it does notify. It puts a note on in the Chime side. But ultimately, like I just use both. Like I have both windows open at all times. I have my CRM and my Real Scout.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Word.
Awesome. That went way too fast. Does anybody else have any questions?
That's what she said. Yeah. Any other questions for me on that tactic?
I think it's so genius.
Wait, Blair, can you come up here? Blair is saying he uses Real Scout and it's far better. He's getting a better open rate and a better engagement rate. Like, why do you think that is?
So I was previously with, well, a bunch, but previously with Brivity and sending home evaluation alerts to all of the people in there that had an address. And over whatever amount of time, 2-3 years, like the amount of engagement was just a joke. Someone told me about Real Scout switched over, and it's been awesome to see how many people are opening them, how many people are responding. Like Jason said, how many people are then saying, we see the value, but we want a custom valuation. It's definitely, in my opinion, currently one of the best options, paid options that's out there for engagement, open rate, accuracy. From what I've heard, it's far more accurate than HomeBot right now. Like their valuation tools are dated, whereas Real Scouts is very current.
I really like the fact that it uses both, or it shows all three, right? It's like you can give the Atom one, which is I think where Redfin pulls, it shows the Zillow, and then it shows yours. And so you could actually manually go input and give your own valuation for everyone too, if you want to. But like I make them like request that. But like on this last month that went out last week, I had 2 people request, and so I just went in and then prepped like a mini CMA and sent it over to them, and gave my valuation. But the fact that there's like it gives 3, I think lends a little bit of credibility to the whole process. So again, like you could just use your MLS probably and just do this. Like I think back in the day, I would go and I would send like CMA updates on like a quarterly basis to all my sellers, and I would do like a video version of it, which I think is still a good thing to do. But I would actually go through the MLS, do a CMA, and then record myself doing the CMA and then email it to them, and using BombBomb. Those are great too. It's just at scale, that's tough to do 150 times over the course. You know what I mean? And so like once you have over 100, you need some sort of automated software. And so that's where I like Real Scout coming in a little bit.
Hang on, what have we got here?
And it just looks really user friendly. That's why. I mean, that's the other thing is like if Kristen was my client and actually it took the time, you can input their likes and dislikes, up to 10 likes and 10 dislikes, as well as things they want to be close to. So you can put like Trader Joe's, 24-hour fitness, all this stuff. And then you can input their commute, their kids' schools, and their home. And so when a new listing pops up, it'll be like, hey, Kristen, there's a new listing. It's an 8 minutes from your work. It's 2 minutes from your kid's school. It's near 24 hours fitness, Starbucks. And so it takes all those inputs and it creates a natural language like email send out that looks like you typed it all, but it's not. It's just done by what you input. And so all of the buyers who come in with my buyer team, we want them putting in all those likes and dislike inputs too. So it just makes for an easier email. That's it. Now, is that worth $50 a month? I don't know. It's up to you. We as a team, we like it.
You may have covered this already, but so my existing CMA runs Google Ads through that, and then they go through my website, and it goes through my CMA. Can I like hook this up to my current CMA kind of thing, or
yeah? So it works with Follow Up Boss.
I just don't want to start a whole new system with my like. I just figured out how to maximize the potential of my CMA. Right,
yeah, it works with Follow Up Boss natively, or you can use Zapier to connect the two. I don't even have the bridge set up, or I have the bridge set up. I don't even use it that much. I just use it. I just go back and forth between the two. By the way, this was not supposed to be a Real Scout pitch. This was all about the Google Map pitch, but everybody's asking about Real Scout. It's a paid software. So that I was just saying, have some sort of automated software so that you have evaluation going out every month, and then use the Google Map tool to personally reach out, every time there's a match.
And I did mean to say CRM. I hope you guys all got that. Not
We got that.
So when do you start your new job at Real Scout?
Exactly. They're paying me. This is a paid service. This is called influencer marketing. What's the guy's name? The CEO is Andrew Reichner or something. I think they actually just made a deal with Anywhere. So if you're in any one of the Anywhere brands like Century 21, Coal Banker, Sotheby's, you get Real Scout for free, I think, or discounted or something. So shout out to the Anywhere family of brokerages.
I don't think they're everywhere. I think they're only in the US.
I think so too, yeah. But I think that I don't know what the deal was. I remember seeing the announcement last week or 2 weeks ago. Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jason. That was amazing.
For sure.
So,
Absolutely.
Kristen, I don't know if you would know about this. Like in Canada or in Ontario, they're changing some new laws coming December 1st about what we're allowed to send people that aren't signed with us now.
Yeah.
Do you think like this will be allowed to even use something like this?
Yeah, because you're not necessarily providing them a service, and they're already like a past client or somebody that you've interacted with. So
Okay.
I think you're okay.
I was told we can't send like CMAs what we think their house is going to go for unless they're signed with us now. It's one of the new rules. We can only send them like comparables, but we can't say what we actually think it's worth.
Well, I don't think that's realistic, because I mean, people are going to want to know what their house is worth before
Yeah,
they
it's
decide
so
to list it
stupid.
with you.
It's so
So,
insane what they're doing here now. It's
yeah.
insanity.
Blair, I agree with you. Canada is really dumb, especially Ontario right now. We're changing so much.
Yeah, it's insanity. I don't even want to get into it.
I just noticed BA's mustache, and it's epic.
Whose mustache?
John Carlos.
Oh yeah, solid.
Sorry, we call him BA.
How's mine coming in? I've been growing it all year.
It's okay.
Sean,
Yeah.
let's play chess again. I sent you a challenge last night. You didn't accept.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. I gotta double check my thing. Can I play today? I'm free in an hour.
I'll hit you. I'll hit you maybe in the afternoon.
Okay. I've been practicing a lot. I'm way better than the last time we played.
Good.
Awesome. Does anybody else
Can I
have
play with
anything
actually
similar
agents?
that they're doing?
Say that again, Kristen.
I said, does anybody else have anything similar that they're doing as like an easy way to reach out to clients without seeming salesy?
So I send MailChimp emails every month, not just or like I do bi-weekly emails. I know this is pretty basic, but like I've been doing different ones now, like where I do like top restaurants in the area, kind of what I stole that from Jason. And kind of like top 10 places to visit this Christmas, right? Like or for pumpkin patches in October, right? And I'm just using the YouTube plugins to write the email for me. So ChatGPT writes the whole email for me. And then I just send that as an email blast. I'm getting way different people open than usual. Like the people that only open my stat stuff aren't opening these ones as much. I'm getting a way different sorry, it was my girlfriend's birthday last night. I'm a little hungover. I'm getting a way different kind of clientele open these emails. So it's been great. Like one lady opened it 11 times. It was pumpkin patches to visit in the area in October. So now we're talking real estate stuff.
Solid.
Awesome.
I like it. I do think email is probably the most underutilized tool. Like we try to send out 2 emails a week. One of which Curator runs for us. That's our marketing company we work with. And so they send like a specific email that they send, and then they encourage us to send a second email. And really what they want us to do is send some sort of a conversational email. So not like a newsletter type thing, but more like, hey, if X, then Y type thing, and like try to elicit replies. And so like a lot of people just think of email as like you send out a newsletter and then you're done type thing. And it's like you want to almost treat it like texting or social media where you're eliciting engagement. And so we've started to make sure that we stay in touch with our clients. Like here's the back end of my Curator dashboard, which is where we send out. So they use a proprietary like a mail software or whatever. And so if you look at the calendar view for example, no, this is for November, so they haven't planned out the rest, but there's always a Monday that goes out, but then there's a second email usually that's going out where it's some sort of a version of just like a talk. So this was sent out and it basically just said, after 7 straight weeks, rates are dropping. Should I reach out to you if rates drop below 7.5? right? And it gets about 40%, 50% open rates because it's just like a conversational email. And so I'm starting to use email a lot with just these type of like conversational pieces, as opposed to like an entire thing, just like a literal text-based conversation thing. And then there are people that reach back out and they raise their hand and say yes. Some people say no, some people don't open it, whatever. But I've started to try to use it. What?
Jason, I just did a contest for draw a mustache on Sean King for November. And I did that for my getting so many people actually respond to my email sending me pictures of their mustache and stuff. So that was a great conversation starter.
I like that.
Other ideas?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I was surprised how many people actually reached back. I usually don't send it through my email blast. I just like I do door knocking with it, like my area with flyers, and then I do a Facebook ad. But it's made it through my email. I can't believe how many people were getting their kids to do it and stuff like that. It was a great conversation starter.
I like that.
Sorry, Giancarlo just said curator sets up both Canadian and US content for its subscribers each week to send out.
Yep. So this is, you guys saw this last month. Look up your first estimate, and people are posting on social. Well, I didn't want to post it on social, so I took actually a literal screenshot of this guy at our brokerage and then put it in as the email and said, hey, I saw this post trending. What about yours? Use Zillow, look up your first home and tell me what this estimate was. Got an 80%. Well, this was a smaller list, so that's not exactly fair, but it got an 80% open rate.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so like that's 100 people, 112 people that opened this up, you know what I mean? Like, and just saw that. I think three people replied back to it or something like that. So anyways, I would say like email is severely neglected. I think, I think so many people at our brokerage, especially, we're just as guilty as like we focus on social first and like all the content we should be putting out. And it's like, what about the people who already have their email addresses, and like, what can we say to them?
Yeah, there's so many people that aren't even like touching email. I know like it is annoying for some people. There are certain real estate media companies that we are all kind of tied into and friends with right now that I feel like they send out an email every single day, which might be a little bit too much for agents to be sending clients and prospects, but like once a week, I think once or twice a week is totally fair.
Totally. It's I always go back to like, I'll sit through Gladiator, which is one of my favorite movies. It's a 3-hour movie, and I'll sit through the entire thing no matter where it's at in the movie because I really like that movie, right? And it's like, but I won't sit through a 30-minute or 30-second commercial because I have no value there. So it doesn't, if you're sending out something valuable, like you could send out 5 emails a week, but if you're sending out shit, like 1 is too much, right? And so like ultimately it's all about what you're putting into the email. And that's why I like to keep it almost like a conversation as opposed to like some sort of templated thing. But to each their own.
Awesome. Hang on, Sean's texting me. Tell Jason he did amazing. Make sure I'm not up here for Mondays usually. His internet just cut out, so he disappeared.
His internet, yeah.
That's okay. Does anybody else have any more questions for Jason or anything that they are doing for client reach out that they want to share with us?
Easy.
So quiet in here right
Your
now.
mastermind, so easy. Kristen.
Yeah.
Well, good. Hopefully someone took some tactics away and get some sales out of that Google strategy.
Yeah. I
just signed up for Real Scouts, so you're gonna have to go get some money from them, Jason.
The affiliate code.
Yeah.
Dude, spend some time in there. Like I said, like, I don't know how many leads you have or past clients or whatever, but if you have that thing rocking, like, and you have some sort of a monthly valuation for all your sellers, and then all your active buyers are set up on searches, it'll get busy really quick.
I'm excited to see what the difference is because I do have some picky people that don't use our CRM kind of feed, and we need to go through the MLS. So I hate the MLS one. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, our CRM feed's fine. Like, and that's how people were for the last couple of years. Like, we're coming through the CRM feed, automatically get setting up with like a property search, and then the properties would go out, and it's inlaid, which is nice because like in your CRM you can just see what they're looking at.
Yeah.
But like when they clicked on the property from my end on the back end, when I clicked on the property to see what they were looking at, it made me like register. I don't know. It was just kind of choppy, and I couldn't see as well like what they were looking at. So Real Scout is designed exactly for this. So
nice.
And
yeah,
whatever. Like hopefully it works for some people. But.
Jason, does Real Scout have a lender option as well? Like to have the lender pay for it? So like HomeBot.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
Programs like that where the lender can basically pay, add you, and everything's co-branded.
I know that they can do that on HomeBot, yeah, because I used to have that set up too, but I don't know if they do actually. If I go to manager tools, agents, offices, reports, I'll look it up. Good question. Probably. I don't know. Why not?
Anything that saves. Lenders are always trying to find some way to
Yeah, they can usually pay half, right? Word.
Andrew, why don't you just jump in instead of writing it in the chat? I'm sure Jason would love to see your beautiful face.
I see his beautiful face.
I didn't want to interrupt the people that were talking already. No, Jason, this like I've been in the biz just over 3 years now, and I would say this is one category that I was a Zillow agent, so a lot of like my time was just consumed by like chasing Zillow leads, and I just never really developed time or a strategy to like hit up past clients. So over the next like few weeks, I'm gathering I'm going to put together like a Christmas gift package to hand deliver to each past client, so I can sort of like put my face in front of you again if I haven't seen you in like a year and a half or 18 months. And just sort of re-engage in that way. And then I've been sort of like trying to think of like ways to just on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, be hitting them up. And I feel like this is perfect to interchange with like e-newsletter as well. So this is like a great way to kind of just not just hit them with email, but be hitting them up like via text with something else as well that they're interested in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this the stat is like 84% of agent or people said that they would work with their realtor again, but only like 12% do or something like that. And I think this is why is that nobody follows up with them through years 2 through 5 or whatever, and then they just forget about it. I had someone reach out to me last year that was like that they sold their house without me. And they're like, I thought you were just too busy. And it was like a dagger to my soul. They're like, I just kind of thought you were too busy. Like they follow me on social media too. Cause that's the other thing is we all think like, oh, well, I put that content on social media. Like they're seeing that content. So that's talking. That's not talking to them though. And so it was like a dagger to my soul. They're like, oh, I just thought you'd be too busy.
For sure. And it's wild to think, like, I know I've had a few referrals from past clients, but for sure from the dozens of people that I've sold a house to, like I would have had more deals had I been re-engaging this whole time. Absolutely.
That's it. So when I heard back to the basics, like type stuff in 2022 and 23, this is what I meant. Like, this is what I thought of. And I'm like, I'm not letting that shit happen again. Like I will personally make sure to not let that happen,
Absolutely.
But
Jason.
Hold on. Noelle has her hand up.
Oh, sorry. We'll get Noelle first.
Oh, that's okay. If you guys wanted to keep going, I was just going to share a strategy. I did a great training this week, and Emma Pace, who is an agent here in Toronto, was training on some of the techniques she's using to reach out using video. So she had 3 techniques she's using. She uses Loom. And one of the ways she and her team reach out to past clients is doing a video CMA. So you can go in and record like the whole screenshot of your CMA. And maybe for that past client, you just choose 3 sort of comparable properties, send it off to them, and then have a little call to action. If you want to chat more, I'm happy to send a full CMA off to you. I just thought this was interesting, want to know your thoughts. And again, super personal because it's a video. They have a chance to see your face. But you can whip off a quick little video in a couple of minutes and send that off to past clients. So I thought that was a really great way to reach out in a way that was also super personal and adding value.
Yeah,
that's the best thing you can do, in my opinion. But it doesn't scale as well because it takes a few minutes to do each one type thing. But like it's by far and away the best. We used to do that for years with BombBomb. Loom's probably the same thing. I think Vidyard is like a free Chrome extension that does it. So you record yourself in like the little bubble. So you're like in the corner right here, and then you have your actual screen with the MLS pulled up when you're doing it, and you're like, hey, these 2 or 3 listings are really relevant comps for you. If you want to see more, I always leave them wanting a little bit more too. If you want to see more, like reach out to me and I'll prep a full CMA for you or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But it puts your face like talking to them. So that's the best. Yeah, it's a great idea.
And when you do this, make sure you're tracking everybody that you talk to in your CRM, because you are going to have clients that don't have things that pop up that sell around them. So it's easy to forget about people. I've found I've got clients that I can go a year without talking to them. And if they're not replying to my giveaways and my client appreciation stuff, then I just never end up connecting with them. So I have to make an effort to do it.
Word.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much, Jason.
I have one more question.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about Sean.
Jason, Do you do stuff like pop buys and like Christmas cards and all that, or is everything through this system kind of thing now? Like,
No, I do holiday cards. So like my not every client, but like a good chunk of my clients are on my holiday card list. But no Popeyes.
okay, so like this covers majority of like your just touching base with your existing
Yeah.
suite of
So
things.
after we close a property, we use a service called White Box, and that gives them 8 to 12 gifts throughout the first 18 months after closing. And they're
Wow.
anything from like a Home Depot gift card to like a coffee thing, like this, like 8 to 12 things.
How much is that?
After the 12 months. So basically after 12 to 18 months, they stop getting white box gifts, and they basically, this bridges the gap until they're ready to sell again. Right. So like I probably should layer in some sort of like Popeyes, pies, client events. That would probably be a area of opportunity in my business that I should layer more in, maybe once a year, twice a year. But in the
I feel like
meantime,
12 gifts is pretty freaking good. What's it called? White box? Can you write that in the chat?
Yeah, White Box. It's just a closing. It's almost like a closing product software type thing. It's like $300 per closing, and then they take care of like the first 8 touches after you close or something. Yeah, but that's the only gifting type stuff I do. Every once in a while there'll be like an occasion where, usually if they have babies, like I send like a Ollie swaddle or something. It's like, but I literally just go on Amazon and send it to them and then shoot them a text. So it's not like super well like gift boxed and wrapped. Actually, I know there's some corporate gifting stuff that a lot of people like to use.
Jason, how much is White Box?
I think it's like there's different. It depends on how many touches you do. It's like $300 a closing or something. $300 per client.
And that gets you 8 to 12.
Yeah, I think it's 8 for that package. You can go up from there for 12 or 18.
How far are they spaced out?
Like if you have 8, they go like every other month for the first 16 months. If you have 12, they go every month for the first 12 months or something like that.
Very
Can
good.
you customize what they send, or is it?
No, they send
Random.
it for you. They send it for you, but it is branded. You give them your logo ahead of time.
That's the one where they like send pizza. Like the first touch is like pizza
on moving day. Yeah, on moving day they send pizza to them, and then they like call them and they're like, hey, Jason's buying you pizza. Basically, it's like, hey, where, from a local. So they look up a local place and then they send it over to them.
I think there's like.
Can you confirm the URL? Because like Google's pulling up a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I'm trying to Google it right now too. There's Snappy, there's BoxFox, there's Uline.
Yeah, I just got a virus on my computer. Thanks, Jason.
It might be
to do that for buyers and sellers, or just buyers?
Just buyers.
Well, that's a great idea, actually. I might just start my own company doing that.
Yeah, there isn't one in Canada doing it. I've been looking.
Let's start one, Kristen.
You should.
Count me in too.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's too many people out. I'm selling my shares.
Too much estrogen. That's a problem for
Yeah. Too much white box. All right, bad joke.
Go. I'm gonna go eat before this 10 o'clock call.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jason. That was awesome.
All right, guys, for sure.
You're amazing.
Right.
Thank you.